Good evening, MIPIM, and thank you for hosting me today. You are talking about co-branding, and your main topic is co-branding real estate. Where did it start? It started mainly with the fashion brands, and it started in the early 80s. Maybe many people don't remember, but one of the first proponents of adding a fashion brand to a real estate project, and notably a hotel, was the great and the memorable and the immortal Gianni Versace. He was the one who started this idea of interiors for a fashion brand, hotels for a fashion brand, mansions for a fashion brand. And definitely what we have today in front of us, a very big number of brands that are doing co-branding with real estate. Why do we do it? What is the value of co-branding with a real estate? What is the value to the developer? And what is the value to the brand? And what is the value to the customer? Let's start with the most important person, the customer. Today, our life is not private the way it used to be before, let's say, 2003 and 2004. Most of the people are living on social accounts, on public platforms. Whatever they do, they post. And many of them became what we call today influencers. And these influencers became influencing what we consume. And at the same time, more and more people wanted the exclusivity that some of these influencers have, or some of the exclusivities that they want to have. Because an exclusivity by default appeals to our human nature. Whenever we're doing something that is very exclusive, our ego is boosted because we feel that we are among the few who can have something like that. We are among the few who can have that very exclusive Elisab gown, or we are one of 40 people who were able to buy this Pagani Huayra Roadster. The same applies in real estate. If you want the limited edition of real estate, co-branding is a very good solution. Because through co-branding with a big brand, you present a limited edition to the customer, which would always hopefully come with a very high return on investment because it's so exclusive, and at the same time with a very high return on ego because it's exclusive and only a few people in the world can have something like that. So presenting that exclusivity at the level of real estate also allows the brand to do this exclusivity in the major cities across the globe. You don't need to sell just 40 Pagani Huayra Roadster in the whole globe. You can do one Pagani project in Cannes, one Pagani project in Rome, one Pagani project in Dubai, where the first Pagani project was. A very important benefit to the developer is the fact that most of the developers don't spend a lot of time on their marketing and branding. So when they work with a very well-known brand and respected brand, they convey to their customers that they are trustworthy because that brand trusted them, and definitely they have to deliver on it. And also they convey the exclusivity that they want from usually the very big number of units that they work on. Where is the value to the branding partner, to the brand? The value to the brand is, number one, you are getting involved in usually a mega project from a revenue perspective because the revenue of real estate is always very high. And definitely there is a benefit in the fees. But a very important benefit is that you get to live with your customer. So when the customer goes and lives in an Elisab apartment, he's living or she's living with Elisab. And they get immersed in the brand. And this is always very important for that brand to connect in a much bigger way with their customers. Where is the areas where you need to be very attentive to? We've seen a lot of co-branding in the last 10 years. Co-branding cannot be a stamp. I'll just call one of the brands and I agree with them and I put on my apartment or on my villa Aston Martin. It doesn't work. The brand needs to have a DNA related to interiors, related to architecture. And they need to transcend and transfer that DNA into those apartments or those villas. And it can be done through some of the fixed elements in the apartment or in the villa, and a very important key items in a furniture range. If these are not present, then there is always a very big fake project, a project that just has a stamp. And I always tell so many developers who try to do this, and listen, maybe you're better off going and bringing a celebrity. You don't need to do it with a brand. Go and bring Julia Roberts. It's more than enough. And once you deliver that product to your customer, you have to be very careful that the people who are living in that building, they also maintain the standards of that brand. Because every time a building or a community is delivered, it's at the mercy of its owners association. So the brand needs to have key measures in place in which they can control how their brand is being maintained in that building, in those apartments. And they should not be afraid to go and take out the brand in case the brand was not well maintained. More and more we're seeing, yes, there is a big wealth concentration in the world, which means that those people will more and more demand more exclusive products and more exclusive projects. So there is definitely a very big growth and a very big number of upcoming projects for the brands that have already started co-branding with real estate, or the brands that are just starting in co-branding with real estate. I hope the exhibition is successful for all of you, and I hope to meet you in person. Thank you.